Hello everyone, this is Sanjay Shenoy from Team Digital Deepak, and in this video we'll be talking about social media competitor analysis. So in this video I'll be running you through how to keep an eye out on your competitors, trying to understand what competitor analysis for social media is, and how to identify your competitors, and once you have identified your competitors, how to dissect their strategy in terms of content and the different types of engagement activities that they're doing on social media, and what to make of their data to come up with your own social media strategy and hopefully beat all your competitors out of the park in terms of social media. So let's quickly dive into social media competitor analysis. So before we proceed, let's try to understand what social media competitor analysis actually is. It is basically looking at your competitors' social media accounts and their activity also, just to get an understanding of what this social media landscape looks in your entire industry in terms of how many competitors you have, what kind of content are they putting out, what kind of engagement do they have, what kind of competitors are you looking at in terms of breaking into the social media aspect of your industry. That is what social media competitor analysis is all about in a nutshell. What this will do is, most importantly, it will give you a better understanding in terms of the kind of content that is working or perhaps not working for your audience, or an audience which is similar to yours. Or if neither of this is possible because there is no content being put out there from your competitors, that means that there is a content gap in the industry, and which you can step in and fill the content gap with the content that you are creating, which is providing value to your potential customers and nurturing them over a period of time and hopefully converting them into customers in the future. What this will also help you understand is that sometimes you'll notice that your offline competitors might not be your online competitors, and your online competitors might not be your offline competitors. And what I mean to say this is that certain times your offline competitors might not have a social presence at all, but they might be doing really well in the offline world. And if that means that there is a gap there, and there is, you can definitely step in and try to capture the market from that particular angle. What this also means is that there might be a few more competitors online compared to offline if they're doing only online social media or online digital marketing rather, and trying to promote their products or offerings. Also, as a general landscape characteristic, you are competing for the attention of a user from a lot of other competitors, which is probably not relevant to your industry at all. The social media is filled with information from their own network, from the network of their networks, from so many other brands, from the brands that they love, from the brands that they hate, and all of this. There is so much happening on social media that it becomes so much more difficult to capture their attention and convert that attention into an actionable transaction. So let's find out what are the different steps you need to take in order to perform the competitor analysis in the whole social media landscape. So let's go through the steps to conduct a social media competitor audit. I think the most obvious one here is to find out who your competitors are in the first place. And like I've mentioned before, there might be competitors who might not be available in the offline field but only available in the online field, or vice versa. Regardless, we'll make a list of all the competitors that we would want to benchmark ourselves against, so that we know where we are when compared to those people, and what are the areas of improvement that we need to have. So again, the first obvious step is to use Google. So whatever might be the case, if you are a product company, you're a service company, you're a blogger, or you have a client, whatever might be the case and whatever is their primary keyword, just put it into Google and look at all the competitors. Look at all the results that are there on the first page. And these would be a list of good, healthy competitors because they have put in the effort to optimize their website. and get their website to the first page. And hopefully they would have done the same thing on their social media also. So make a list of all the people that you can see for your primary keyword or a bunch of keywords that you have, and there might be a repetition of websites that you might get, and which is fine as long as you have a bunch of unique websites that you have, which you can use as a benchmark. That's fine. So make a list of all of that using Google. Very similar to Google, use graph search on Facebook also. This will unearth a few other websites also which might be doing pretty well on social media but might not be focusing on the organic part of the business, because it might also be the case that investing too much on SEO might not be a very good thing for your particular industry, and investing it on social media might be much more easy. So a good starting point regardless of the case is either Google or Facebook or pretty much both. So make a list of all the competitors that you see there, and make a list of competitors that you think are worthy of being your competitors, something you can look up to and benchmark yourself against. So once you have that, open up their websites and make a list of all of their other social media platform handles. So once you're done through Facebook, go into their Instagram, go into their LinkedIn, go into their Snapchat if they have, pretty much everything. See what they're doing, and do their brand search for Quora also, and see if they have a Quora page. So whatever might be the case, whatever might be the industry that you're in, depending on that, look for all their social media handles. So the most obvious ones are Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. I think these four are very, very important, and as long as you find information regarding these, that's more than enough. And once you have the social media accounts on across all of these platforms for all of your competitors, I think what you can do is, this is especially useful if you already have a little bit of audience, and see who your audience is actually following. There's a very good chance that your audience might be following your competitors also, and if you see any company that you think might be worthy of being your competitor, make a list of that. Do the entire process of 2 and 3 again, and try to look for most of their social media handles. This is just to try and understand what they're doing across different social media platforms, which we'll be getting into later on. You might get a little too overwhelmed sometimes, because you might find a lot of websites or a lot of companies out there who might turn out to be your competitors. Don't get too overwhelmed because of this, and try to focus only on the ones which actually make sense for you to focus on. Obviously, you need to take a business which is serious about digital marketing. It would have done a especially social media marketing. If they have done a pretty decent job, at least they'll have a decent following on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, or might not be on all of these. Again, completely depending on your industry. They might be predominant on one single platform. Whatever might be the case, pick competitors which are doing a better job than you are right now, so that your benchmark is always set high and you have a target to always achieve. And once you do that, pick out probably about 5 competitors, and that is more than enough. And if you pick the top 5 competitors in terms of their social media presence, that is more than enough for you to start off with. And why 5? It is so that the further we go in terms of the competitor audit, you'll realize that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And if you have more than 5, it might become a little too tedious for you to understand. And when it comes to gathering information and data also, it might become too overwhelming for you to analyze it and interpret things from it. So 3 or 5 is more than enough just to understand the landscape of your entire industry. So let's see what the next step in the social media competitor audit is. So the next step in conducting a social media competitor audit is to gather information, is to try and source every kind of information possible about your competitors. And to do that, the first thing that we'll be needing to do is to list out all the social networks they are actively pursuing. And some of your competitors might be on certain social media networks, but they might not be active there. They might have just created a profile. You can take this into account, but I personally wouldn't. So just make a list of all the social networking or social media websites they are active on, and from there, make a list of all the followers, fans, subscribers, whatever it is that they have. And also, if you can do it, it will be great in terms of monitoring your competitors. Try to track their growth rate on a week on week basis, and then you can like extrapolate it to a few months and see how fast they are growing. And what this will help you do is that you will know what is that you are facing against, and what kind of money that they might be pumping into. It will give you like a fair idea in terms of all of this. So if you can list out all their followers or fans and subscribers that they have and their growth rate on a weekly basis, it will give you a very nice idea as to what your competitors are doing to increase their audience size. Also, map out the frequency of their posts, like how often are they posting and what is the hours that they are keeping a gap in posting each type of post. We will discuss this in a little bit detail in the next few slides. Also, this is one of the things that I would like to do. What are their metrics like? Remember the four main metrics that I spoke about, which is your amplification rate, conversation rate, and applause rate. So try to look at all these posts, take a few posts out of them, and take a couple of days which you would like think has been a very good day for them in terms of activity or engagement on their social media account. And for each of these days, see what the metrics looks like for these companies. So this will give you an idea as to what is the kind of content that is working for them. They have already invested in brainstorming the kind of content that they need to do, and frankly speaking, this is the way to look at and to shorten your trial and error learning curve. So you will know what are the kind of things that is not working for your competitors. And again, it might boil down to the fact that they might have not executed a certain campaign in a certain way, which is why it didn't work out. That is also possible, but that you can see it as soon as you view all these posts and the content that they are posting. But otherwise, more or less, if it is consistent in terms of quality, you will get to know what is the kind of content and what is the kind of tone that is working with the similar audience that you might be sharing with them. Moving on, the next thing that you would want to do is to dissect your competitors' content. When I mean dissect it, you need to look at it from every angle possible, because this is the most crucial element of your social media marketing plan. And to understand what is the kind of communication that you should be putting across will be the cornerstone in your social media marketing plan, and so which makes it very, very important. So the first thing that you need to do is try to understand what is the kind of content that your competitors are posting. When I say the kind of content, what I mean to say is, are they posting just SEO articles? Are they just posting very in-depth information about your particular industry? Are they like trying to post just like sharing what are the industry updates are and these kind of things? So you need to understand what is the kind of content they are posting. The next step in conjunction with this step is to understand what kind of content format is working best for them. Is textual content in the form of blogs or white papers or press releases working for them, or is video working for them, or is infographics working for them, or market research working for them? What is that type of content format which seems to be working well with their audience for your competitors? When you drill this down to exactly what is working for them, your job becomes so much more easier instantly. What also you can do while you're at this is try to map out their content calendar. And like I've mentioned before in the past, this is one of the main reasons why you would want to pick the 5 best competitors that you have. So if you have a lot of competitors, I know all of this sounds like a lot of work, and it actually is. So the lesser the competitors you have, the better it is for you in terms of work, and better it is in terms of efficiency also for you. So if you can, for those 3 or 5 competitors that you have, try to map out their content calendar for about 2 weeks. This will give you a fair idea in terms of the frequency of post, the kind of post that they're putting, and what is working for them and what is not working for them, and how often are they posting in a day, and what is the timings that they're posting in a day, and does that have an effect on the performance of the content itself. So you need to really drill down. I mean, this is basically like 3 or 4 points, but it means a lot of work for you to do. And when you actually do this, what comes out of it, the information that comes out of this is immensely valuable for you and for your own content strategy or your own social media marketing strategy as a whole. The next step in the social media competitor audit is to understand the level of customer satisfaction your competitors are enjoying or not enjoying, for that matter. And a lot of companies use social media, especially channels like Twitter, primarily to engage the customers and use it as a customer addressing platform or a forum for all their products and services and offerings. So, but even otherwise, it is the whole social media landscape has evolved in such a way that it gives a platform for the customers to come and voice their opinions inherently by its own nature. So Facebook has it, Twitter has it. So Facebook, you can go and review businesses, leave ratings for a particular businesses, and all of these things. So when you look at a particular page and look at how they're treating their customers, it says a lot about their company. So if they're not treating their customers well on social media, there's a very good chance that they might not be treating their customers really well in the real world also, which means that there is a gap for it. There's a gap that needs to be filled. So the first thing that you might want to use it as a pointer is, are they responding to their potential customers in the comments, or probably their disgruntled customers also. So are they talking to them in the comments? Are they talking about what they're doing and what are the problems they're facing and how the company itself can step in and help them solve the problems? So are they doing it or not doing it? And what are the kind of reviews do they have, and what information can you gather from the review? So a lot of times you might observe this, a lot of people might be very happy with the product, but they might not like come and actually write a review because it doesn't affect them in any manner after the transaction is over. But if they have a bad experience with it, they make sure that they come and leave a review at any cost. I mean, there are a lot of nice people, when they have an excellent experience, they come and actually leave a nice review also. I'm not saying no, but the chances of a person leaving a review increases exponentially when they have a bad experience and they go into very detailed nuances as to what happened to them in terms of their experience. And when they actually write all their reviews in details, you can pick up a lot of stuff in terms of what is that particular company doing or not doing rather, and you can step in and fill in that gap and use it to make your own product or your service or your offering much better than what your competitor is providing at the moment. And how is the ratings looking? How is the reviews looking? Like out of 5, how much are they getting, or whatever the platform is? So is it good? Is it bad? Is it average? And again, this will give you a good sense of how they're running their business. Also, if it's like a platform like Twitter or even in terms of Facebook, do they have a lot of direct engagement happening with their customers? And if it is happening, it means that number one, it's a big company. Number two, people are very comfortable talking to their customers are very comfortable talking to these companies online, and also the company is very comfortable talking to them on social media. Very importantly, is it consistent across every channel? If a company is really serious about social media as a customer satisfaction platform or a forum, they would make sure that they're consistently making their customers happy, or at least solving their problems across every channel possible. That's pretty much it for the social media competitor audit. So to end this off, I'm going to share a few food for thought. The first and most important thing is that more often than once, the terms inspiration and plagiarism I see being interused. And this is not the same thing, and plagiarism is a very bad thing to do, and inspiration is something that you can work with. But when you take a piece of content and just rebrand it, or like put your own logo to it and put it across on your channel, it doesn't become an inspiration, it becomes just plagiarism. And think of it from a customer's perspective as well, right? Like, you are posting the same content as your competitor is, and why would I've already read it as a customer, why would I want to like read it or engage with it all over again? It just doesn't make sense. And also, content usually helps in developing the personality of a brand, and that is what you should be thriving for. And when you copy someone else's content and post it as your own, you're basically taking their personality and saying it is my personality. Obviously it's going to fail, because your company and their company is completely different. They have their own personalities, they have their own goods and bads. So don't copy, take inspiration, see what is happening, see what is not happening, and then play around that. Also, whatever data that or the information that you gather from all of these competitors that you have, including your own, to be very honest, all this data might reveal something that is much more fundamental, much more deeper than social media itself. For example, like I said, if people are not responding to their customer complaints or customer concerns, it's got nothing to do with social media. I mean, if they were really serious about customer happiness, satisfaction, they would do everything possible to keep their customers happy. And if they're not putting an effort to do that, it means that there is something fundamentally wrong. They're not caring enough about their customers, which gives you an opportunity. I know there are a lot of companies out there for whom the sole USP of their company is just pure customer satisfaction. And there are plenty of companies out there which is definitely known for their customer support. For me, as an individual, as a consumer myself, I think in India, the best customer support I have experienced so far is from American Express. When you call their call center, it doesn't even feel like you're talking to a call center executive. It is so nice, it is so refreshing. They actually talk to you like they want to help you out, and more often than once, they actually help you out. So that shows that how much American Express cares about their customers and how much they are willing to invest into keeping their customers happy. And these are things that cannot be fixed by social media. Social media is just a medium, and you cannot expect the medium to be the end result itself. So all of this data, look beyond just social media and see what are the things that you can provide to your customers from the information that you have gathered. Also, keep experimenting. And let me tell you, out of 100 times, you're going to fail most probably 99 times. And it is absolutely fine, because you need to be right only once to get that right and become really, really, really big. So think outside the box. Be reasonable though. Don't try to do stupid mistakes or naive mistakes, but go out there and experiment as much as possible. Gather information, see what is working, put a new twist to it, put your own twist to the content that is working for your competitors, and see how you can make it better. Like mentioned before, instead of just seeking inspiration, look for content gaps. See what the actual customer is looking for in terms of value addition, in terms of information, in terms of help, and provide that value, provide that content using social media. That itself is going to create such a nice personality to your brand. And when people are actually helped by the content provided by you as a company, they're going to connect with you on a very emotional level. So look for content gaps rather than content inspiration. Last, be organized and keep going at it, because the learning curve is pretty steep in social media in terms of consumer behavior, in terms of content, in terms of all the metrics. And understanding your industry, understanding your own business, and aligning with your social media targets and all of that, it's going to take you a while, but don't lose hope and keep on going at it. As and when you proceed, what becomes very important is the fact that you need to know what not to do rather than what to do. So that becomes your crucial point of understanding your industry so well that you know exactly what not to do, and you become so efficient that the percentage of your strategies working becomes that much more better, that much more higher. So keep at it, don't give up. It's going to take a while for you to like master social media, but if you go at it at full pace, firing at all cylinders, you're going to make it at the end of it. So that's it for this particular video. I hope you liked it. If you have any feedback, please post it in the comment section or write me an email at sanjay@digitaldeepak.com. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.